Hello, everybody. Welcome to High Elevation Exotics podcast, Snakes and Such. My name is Ian Silver, and today I'm joined by Eddy, aka Father Blue, and we're going to be talking about monitors, specifically blue tree monitors. Eddy owns 8 of them, the largest that we know of in the US, kept together. Well, not together, but in the same house. And he also owns Reptizone, which is in the middle of a little bit of a change. We'll dive into that. But yeah, Eddy, thanks for being here, man.
What's up, man? Thank you for having me, bro. It's a pleasure, honestly. Super excited to talk about this stuff and to listen to what people think about, what I do and everything like that, man. Thank you again for having me, man.
Totally. I appreciate it. So let's give people a little bit of a background, where you're from, what got you into reptiles. And if you have any pictures you want to send me, like of you with things at a young age, I can throw them in there. But what kind of sparked your interest in reptiles and then in monitors specifically?
That's it's kind of like a story that a lot of people say, man. Ever since I was a little kid, I've always been fascinated with like dinosaurs and animals and everything like that. I'm particularly from Washington D.C., born and raised over there, and growing up over there, we didn't have a lot of animals. But when we moved near this like little park near called Fort Totten Park. I found my first snake ever, my first salamander, and that just like blew up, dude. After that, I found out about reptile expos, and boy, that was the end of it. After
That was
that,
it,
man,
huh?
yeah, that was it, dude. After I saw what made me really fall in love with the monitor stuff was like back when I got into this, and I'm 29 now. So back when I got into this, Savannah monitors, everyone had it, dude. There was like YouTube pages all over the place with Savannah monitors. It was like Muff Daddy was one of these dudes that had
Yep.
Savannah monitor back in the day from Virginia, and all these other crazy dudes that had these big old monitors, and I just fell in love with it, man. And that kind of like sparked everything from here. But I kind of worked away from like Savannah monitors when I was young. I messed around with black-headed monitors for a little bit. That was a cool little like kind of like era of like monitor keeping and everything like that. And then from there, I jumped onto the tree monitors, man. And it's been a life passion ever since, to be quite honest.
Cool. Yeah. I've back in the day I had a Nile monitor, and it only got, before I rehomed him, he was only, I don't know, maybe 2 feet, two and a half
Yeah,
feet,
yeah,
3 feet, which isn't big because they can be massive. I've had Savannah monitors, and what's funny about that now, if you go on like Morph Market, you can get a Savannah monitor for like $45.
yeah, dude.
And
It's
people have
crazy,
no
man.
idea what they're getting themselves into at all.
Yeah, yeah.
Because
Back in
they're
the
not.
day, man, I remember I got my first Savannah monitor from Triple L Reptiles way, way, way back in the day, and I paid like I think it was like 50, like 25, $50 for him. And he was a little thing like this big, dude, and I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I kept him in like a 10-gallon, and then I went on back in the day. Funny enough, the website that kind of expired the name for my name, Reptizone, was Reptic Zone. Reptic Zone was this big
Nice.
old forum for lizards, but they had this crazy monitor page. And when I found that page, dude, I got convinced like I had to build a fucking 6 foot cage, 6 foot by 2 foot by 4 foot cage for this tiny little dinky lizard. And I was living in an apartment with my mom. I can't believe she even let me do all that stuff back in the day, too. But we made it work, and I don't know, man. We're here today.
Yep. Yeah, people don't really know. Like I've said it here already, and I've said it with Dave Palumbo. People don't know what they're getting into with certain reptiles. So, you know, before you guys do anything, or before you go out, and if this inspires you to keep tree monitors or any sort of big lizards, great. But do your research. Make sure you know that they look cute and little, but they can grow up and be really nasty and really big. So they're no joke. You got to spend a lot of time with them. And yeah, you can buy a Savannah monitor for $45, but are you ready for thousands of dollars in vet bills and thousands of dollars in building an enclosure? And so it gets expensive really, really fast. And I just wanted to say thank you to you for allowing me to slide in your DMs for the last week and like a week and a half. I'm sure your lady's like, who you talking to, man? just just some long-haired dude from Arizona about monitors. But yeah, you've helped me out a lot. We just got a green tree monitor, as you know, and he's been out every day now. Like
Sick,
he's
dude.
out basking every day. He took food from the tongs earlier. He's not eating much, but I also can't see the stuff he's not eating
Yeah,
from me.
yeah.
But yeah, it's been great. You've given me great advice. So I'm happy. I appreciate it. And I hope that we can, inspire other people to do the same thing as well. So you
Yeah,
currently
man.
have 8 of them, right?
Correct. I have 8 of them. I have 5 females, 3 males at the
Five
moment. Yeah.
five females and three males, and you do have plans to breed potentially, or they've already started.
That's the plan. I've paired up a couple here and there and things like that just to see what will happen. I haven't been taking it too like strongly on the breeding project because I'm very busy, dude. Aside from like keeping the animals, I work a full-time job in New York City. I own
Yeah,
Repti Zone, which I'm like, designing constantly and making stuff and playing around with like making connections and stuff. Like aside from Repti Zone being like an animal kind of source project, it also funnels into like the plant keeping and not just reptiles but other animals as well. So it's a very kind of like big kind of business for me right now, and so that keeps me busy. And then I'm also, a bike rider. I ride bikes all the time.
do you
I'm
ride
sponsored
a
by a
single
couple
speed?
companies. I have a track bike, but I'm sponsored for gravel racing and touring and things like that. Like
Dude,
I'm sponsored by
really?
Cannondale, so like I do a lot. Like I'm a very busy man here in New York City. So this coming winter time, I'm trying to take it slow. Everything will be chilling now and everything like that, and then I can really focus on monitoring these guys, pumping them up with the necessary kind of stuff they need to hopefully help them induce breeding. And we'll go
Nice,
from there. We'll see what happens.
nice. Yeah, I ride a gravel bike too.
Hell yeah,
Yeah, I
dude!
got like
Hell yeah!
an old rally, but it's dope.
Oh,
Like,
sick!
yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
So my wife's probably gonna listen to this and be like, "You haven't ridden your bike in months," but you know,
yeah.
I try. I was actually signed up for August 25th. There was a thing in Texas called the Hotter Than Hell 100,
Oh, whoa, that's cool, man.
and I
That's
signed
cool.
up for it. But then my friend who I was going to do it with and stay at a hotel with, his parents bailed, so he bailed. So now I guess I'm not doing it, but kind of grateful
Oh,
because that would have been
there's always other races, man. You never
yeah.
know, man. Me and my friends, we just finished riding. It was last week. We rode. I want to do it just as like brownie points, but I have a big old cargo bike. It's like a Dutch made cargo bike, and I rode from here to Bear Mountain, which in New York City is like the highest peak that we have over here
Yep.
in this area. And it's like a 100-mile ride, and I rode there with a dog in the front of it with my friends that were riding with like with their road bikes and stuff. And I did it for just like to say like I'm the first one to ever do it here in the city, and I was so like that was
You
a fun
should have
little
done it.
trip.
You should have done it with a monitor.
Yeah, right. Next
That would
one,
have
dude.
been game changing
Next
right there.
one.
They probably wouldn't. The monitor wouldn't have been too stoked on that.
Yeah.
So you got your first one how many years ago?
My first tree monitor,
Yeah,
I would say my first tree monitor was
like 4 years. I think you were saying
it
you've
was
had
like
it.
3 4 years ago. It was for my birthday. I forget which birthday it was, but it was a pair of blue tree monitors. I
Wow.
still have the female with me. It was a pair of blue tree monitors. Back then, bro, the prices
Let me
were
guess.
nothing what they were today.
550 bucks, 600, seven
I
hundred bucks
wish, I wish I paid 15 for the pair
for the
back then.
pair.
For a pair, $1,500 for a pair of blue tree monitors. Then back
Wild
then
caught or domestically produced?
they were wild caught. At that time, there were like I didn't know of anybody who was producing them in the States. And I think there was a couple people like Reptile Revolt, Matthew Cosman, and
Cold Blooded
I
Kingdom
think
might have been.
Brandon. Huh?
Cold Blooded Kingdom, were they around then?
Yeah, Cold Blooded Kingdom still wasn't in that yet. No, they
Yeah.
weren't in that shit game yet. Brandon might have been in it, but there was like hardly anybody really talking or like keeping them. Like I found the Tree Monitor forum, and that kind of opened my doors to like the breeders and the stuff. There was like a handful of people, but not as many as you see today for sure. They've been doing great in terms of like kind of reproducing in captivity, which is amazing. But $1,500 for a pair. That was my first ones, and then I bought a pair of green trees as well at the time.
And
And
you went full into the blues, huh?
I went full into the blues after the green.
Something about them, right?
They were just for me. They were pretty. I always wanted blue tree monitors, man, because for me, like going back to Reptic Zone, when I saw that forum, I remember someone had posted a picture, and it was a picture of 4 of the blue tree monitors in someone's hand, 4 of the tree monitors in someone's hand. So someone had a green tree, a yellow tree, a black, and a blue in his hand, like in one hand. And after I saw that, I was like, what the fuck? That's a blue lizard. That is the most amazing thing I've ever seen in my life. I want it. Like I need to find one. And for the longest, I couldn't afford it. I just couldn't afford the money for one. I couldn't find one. There was never any available. And magically, dude, this one December, I was on like Fauna Classified, and I met this guy Ian from Georgia, and he had a pair, bro. And I begged
Shout out to all the Ians.
yeah, dude, all Ian's in Georgia.
Yeah.
But But like I begged this guy, like, bro, put me on a payment plan. I need this. Let me get this. Like I want it. And he hooked it up, and then that just started the whole phenomenon, man. Like, but
Crazy.
that first pair, I built my first giant enclosure. At the time I was living in like in Greenpoint, Brooklyn. I built this like it was a 7 foot tall, 7 foot wide, 2 foot deep enclosure for the pair.
About probably about the size
Yeah.
of your apartment at the time.
No, luckily I lived in like a basement apartment, so the apartment was
Cool.
huge. It was
Because I
great.
just know right now, like what you have behind you, which people can't see all of it, but that's a lot of space to
Oh,
take up in a New
that's a
York
lot, dude.
apartment or condo.
My dude, if my girlfriend was here, she would tell you everything about this, man. Like, she loves it. She's okay with it, but bro, she can't wait till I get a facility and get this out of here.
And you
Sure,
also, I saw pictures, you were like hauling like pieces back and forth on like a bike or something.
Yeah, dude, the cargo bike. That's the same one that I did the ride on to Bear Mountain. On that bike is a
So you were
because
making
his girlfriend
multiple trips to bring stuff back.
100% on this bike on the bike to bring it here to build it because I don't have a car here. I don't need. It's too expensive to own a car here in New
Yeah.
York.
For
So
parking and
so
everything.
yeah, so the Bullet cost me a couple grand, but it works as a car. I can haul. I can go anywhere I need. It does everything I need. Like the other day, I went to the pier and I got a crap ton of beech wood to put in these clothes. All this is beech wood that I found
Dang.
right by the water that I was able to haul back on the bike, and it's all in my cage. It's just
People
chilling.
probably think
So,
you're like some crazy dude.
dude, yeah,
But
dude,
but
the
they
other
probably
day,
know
like
that's not a cheap bike, you know.
no, dude. Yeah, some guy was like, I remember my girlfriend was with me. She was like, dude, these guys are saying you're hauling trees out here, bro. Like, what you doing? Like,
Well, yeah, you got tree monitors. They don't know what's up.
yeah.
So the one you have behind you, how
Uh,
big is that?
this one right here. So this is a newer enclosure that I recently built, and I built this so I could keep my monitors separately. But this is a 4 by 4 by 2 foot, and
Are
it's
you
a
able to pick your phone up and show us?
yeah, definitely. Let me see.
I don't care if you like flip it around and walk for a second, if just so the viewers, whenever you got it on a book.
It's on a tripod, but yeah.
Oh, nice.
This is a 4 by 4 by 2. It's like I said, it's a newer enclosure, so it's still getting built out and everything like that. But I have on the it's wall to wall like rock wall everywhere and everything like that. So they're able to climb the entire enclosure up and
Jeez.
everything like that. There goes one of the I don't know if you can see it. There goes one of the tree monitors right there chilling.
Yep.
Yeah,
Dude, their
he's chilling like
tails
this.
are just ridiculous.
Yeah, they're huge, but so they have they have multiple places to kind of chill. They have one basking spot. They have multiple of these little ledges for like feeding and watering and everything like that. And next that goes going to go in here is a bunch of cork and a bunch of these planters and everything like that. So I can like plant it out to give them a lot of like space and everything like that. I'll show you another one of my cages real quick.
Yeah, please.
Here's another one right here on the other side of my wall.
So
This
what is
one's
that, like 6 or 7 feet?
Yeah,
By what?
this one's a 6 foot by 4 foot by 2 foot.
Oh, look at that. That
Yeah.
typical monitor activity. They see something and get spooked.
Yeah, crazy, gonna spooked out and everything.
So is that a
like
male
yeah.
or female in there, right?
Yeah, that's a little female right there. That's Littlefoot. She's my youngest tree monitor that I have. She's about to reach mature age, and about another year or so she'll be mature.
Dude,
But
they're
she's
so
selling
crazy,
everything like
bro.
that. Yeah, that's one cage, and then I have another cage in the bedroom, and then I have some other cages being built out right now and everything
Cool.
like that.
Man.
Yeah, but the plan this year was to because I've kept the super big tall enclosures and everything like that. I've kept like the multiple monitors in enclosures and everything like that. And it works. The big cages works for some people. For other people, it doesn't. It's really hard to maintain a lot of like the safe parameters in those super big enclosures. I learned,
Yeah.
like unless you have like a crazy facility where like your floor is heated and all and you can keep the entire house like 75, 80 degrees or something like that. It's really hard to maintain like constant temps at the on the surface layer, the surface temperature on the ground, or to not make it too cold at the bottom, not too hot at the top. Keep everything even. It's so hard with those
because they're really sensitive, huh?
Yeah, well, in some
they're
cases,
hardy,
yeah.
but they're sensitive. Like I would say just from my experience with any monitors, it's like we've talked about, the beginning stages are crucial, absolutely crucial. Right. I remember you sending me a voice message and you were like, don't F with it.
Yeah,
just
exactly, man.
Leave it alone for a while. Leave it alone. You want to pick it up and play with it. And that's the same thing with a lot of different species. People like will get venomous snakes, they'll get king cobras, and they wonder why their king cobras die. It's because they don't want to be handled all the time.
Right.
They're stressing it out. Chameleons, I have a chameleon over here. He hates me. I, I'm okay with that. I'm not going to try to take him out because I'll stress him out to the point where he'll die. So yeah,
Right.
there's a lot of work. So you think the bigger enclosures, if you have the space, it's a good idea. Do you think what you have is too much right now, or just right?
No, I think these are okay for individual animals for sure. You know, right now I have a couple animals paired up because other cages are being built at the moment. Like it's a transient time for me and everything like that. At one point, I was moving, and if you saw earlier, I had these other really. Are you still there?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're there. You just
At one
froze
point,
for
I
a
had these
second.
other. Yeah, at this one point, I had these other cages that were like a lot smaller because I was moving. Then something happened where I didn't have to move, and because I didn't have to move, I was like, well, fuck it, I'm gonna maximize as much space as I can take, and that's where these cages came in, these 4-foot cages now, and everything like that, or in
So
the 6-foot cages and stuff
do
like
you
that.
keep it like a certain temperature in your apartment? Are you in an apartment then? I'm assuming.
I'm in an apartment,
Do
yeah,
you
but
keep
no,
it
I
a
don't
certain
keep
temperature
it.
in there, or you just worry about what their enclosure is?
I worry about their enclosures only.
Yeah.
So I'm able to because I'm able to because the cages are shorter and the wattage of bulbs that I use and because they're stacked up in a way that they are right now, the heat from a bottom cage radiates and heats up the top
Mm,
cage. You know, so it helps keep a really cool constant temperature within all the enclosures and stuff like that. So
dang.
they're perfectly fine. They get misted daily as well with warm water that helps keep the
Do you have a
humidity and
system for that, or
everything.
are you hand misting still?
No, I got a mist team set up and everything like that on these guys.
That's what I'm thinking. Because yeah, it's too much.
If you can afford it and you can get it, all by all means get it. But if
Yeah.
not, a regular hand pump works. I have a hand pump for when I don't want to use the mist king, or if it's like clogged up one day and I got to clean it up or something like that. So
Yeah.
you know, it's to each his their own and stuff like that with
It's
that.
more just like, we have plans to travel in the next few months once ours gets bigger. And
Yes,
it's like if you're
bro.
gone and you have like your parents or someone watching it and they don't mist for a few days, I mean, I'm not
Right,
sure if they would like die, but it's probably not a good thing that they're not.
right.
So I guess we can kind of go into what do you feed them? What do you keep their temperatures at? Just maybe like some basic care stuff for people. And also, if people want to know more information, I'll put your link in the bio for your Instagram. And you're also an admin on the Tree Monitor. I think it's like the Tree Monitor community on Facebook.
Yeah. I'm an
What's the name
admin
of the
over here.
group there?
Yeah, Tree Monitor Community.
Yeah, so you're an admin on there, so I can put the link in there. People can, pop in there and see what's up. But what do you think? Because I know we've kind of gone back and forth with this. There's a lot of different information out there, and it's not wrong or right. I guess they're all always in the same ballpark. I was told to keep mine at 125 to 130 basking for a baby, and you felt differently about that, and other people have felt differently about that. So it's like, what do you say to that type of stuff? What do you think works? What has worked
I
for
was
you? Let's put it that way.
I would say a lot of, like you said, a lot of people have their own kind of like tendencies of how they want to keep the tree monitors and things like that. My experience working with them, I take bits of information from every single person, right? Like from like Brandon and Canadian Cold Blood, or Brian from Sundown Reptiles,
Yep.
or Matthew from Reptile Result. So many people, I take their advice and things like that. But for me, what works for me and the parameters that I keep my animals in is I try to keep a basic gradient of temperature inside the cages at around like 85, 90 degrees, right? So it's a gradient from like the bottom, from like the middle zone to the top. It's about 85 in the middle, about 90-ish at the top. The
And then the
basking
basking
zone right
spot's
here,
gonna hit.
yeah, exactly. And they usually tend to chill around with like the top portion of the cage. Sometimes you catch them at the bottom. It's not rare. It's not it's rare, but they'll be there. But the bottom is usually around like 75. Is what the bottom is usually kept around for these guys. Um, Humidity wise, because it gets sprayed daily, they're at about like 75, 80%, throughout the day and stuff like that. And it's a constant temperature that I try to keep that in. I found out that if you go too lower or too high, they tend to get this like really ruffled scaled
Mm,
appearance. So they're not, I wouldn't say they're like hurt or anything like that, but it's a physical difference that I see. They don't have a shiny, even layered coat. It's like this really puffed up, very like,
interesting.
ragged kind of coat that they get that they develop, that I've noticed when you keep them away from those parameters. For me, that's why I keep them here, and in this way, they're beautiful in every way that I keep them in and things like that. So they have for me, I had to keep on a 12-hour basking, kind of like
So you just have a timer on?
you have a timer, and it's so I have these smart timers that allow the whole system to dim. So for the first 30 minutes of the day, it gradually sets from like zero to full blast.
So
So it's
you're
not
not
an
just hit
immediate
you're not just
like
hitting them
turn
with it.
on, huh?
You're not just hitting them with 130 basking
It,
spot first thing in the morning.
it
Yo, dude,
exactly.
sorry, my tortoise has literally bit my toes like 5 times. Let's see if I can pick him up real quick. Hold on.
Dang, look at this dude, man. He's so cool, man. Look at him, bro. That's a cool little dude, bro. I wanted one for so long, man. I swear, once I move down to Florida, bro, that's where every New Yorker goes. Then I'm gonna have
Hey,
like 30 of them,
drop a pin, bro. Gotcha. No,
man.
but yeah, so I guess it's different. It's not like a huge difference in the way people keep them, but like, you don't want to have their basking spot at 90, but you also don't want to have it at
Yeah.
150. Like you were
No,
saying, between 100 and 120 is probably a good area to be at. But like babies, they don't know how to regulate their temperature as much. They'll burn
no.
themselves.
Right, exactly. So I would never keep a baby at more than like 110, you know? After they're maybe a year old and they got some size to them, they can maybe be bumped up to like 120, 125, you know? But after you go start going higher up those basking zones, in my opinion, depending on the bulb you're using, like if you're using spotlights or anything like that, that beam is so concentrated that you can
Yeah.
like burn one of your lizards very easily
So
doing that, you
what are
know?
you using for your
I'm
heat?
using floodlights. So
Like
floodlight
Home
is just
Depot
it
or
spreads
Lowe's or
out.
whatever?
Yeah, yeah. It's they're halogen floodlights. They like
Okay.
my bulbs all range from anywhere between like 50 watts all the way up to like 100 watt.
Hmm.
So every cage needs a different type of bulb for the temperature range that it needs, and that's just from like playing around with the cages, seeing what happens, what temperatures I get from one. That I'll be able to figure out like, oh, this cage right here needs a 90. The cage in the corner needs a 60. That cage down there needs a 50. Like, and I'm able to figure it out.
And then
And
you're
then with
using
because
UVB, of course, people, you got to have
yeah,
UVB.
they all have UVB light. That's why the light's like more yellow, more white in there, and then the other one's yellow on there for that. So they do have UVB in there as well. I give it to all my lizards. They all have a UVB bulb in them inside of them. So I do that, and then yeah, and they're also every single cage has its own timer, its individual timer. Like if I
Hmm.
wasn't on this, I could show you how I'm able to like drop and turn off the thing and everything like that with my phone. But they all have their own like Wi-Fi control timer so that I can control that.
Can you see the
Also, kind of like
temperature on it too?
I can't see the temperature on it. I hand temp everything with a gun and everything like
Yeah.
that. But it allows me to like lower it or put it higher if I need to
I
get
feel like
whatever
I
gradient.
wouldn't trust an app that told me the temperature was, you know
No,
what I mean?
hell no,
I'd be
dude.
sketched out. I'd be like, no, I'm going to check this myself.
Exactly. Yeah, I have a temp gun right by the cage. I temp it every single time I'm checking them out to make sure everything is stable, everything is good. I'm always on top of this stuff with these guys.
Crazy. And then I guess for diet, I mean they don't eat greens.
Yeah,
You're
definitely.
not going to be feeding them rapashi like the Crescent
No,
Gecko diet. These
definitely.
guys are insectivores, carnivores strictly,
Yeah.
right?
Don't feed them fruit. No, dude. I remember there was like a thing going around where people are saying you can feed them fruit, mangoes, and stuff. They don't eat that stuff. That's for sure, man.
Yeah.
But a strictly carnivorous, insectivorous diet is what they are for sure. So these guys, mine in particular, I breed a lot of my insects gratefully, thankfully. So it saves me a ton of
So
money.
you have your own kind of your own supply.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm able to feed these guys everything between grasshoppers. I feed grasshoppers is a big staple. I was lucky to get into that game really early on and get a bunch of them. And so I'm able to like breed my own grasshoppers. Like I have grasshoppers by the thousands over here,
No
man.
way.
So yeah, I have thousands of grasshoppers. So I was able to get onto the board of that like last year, and I bought a big lot, and I've been breeding the hell out of them now. And so it's a stable supply. I have dubias. I breed
Do those
super
have
worms here.
more protein than a cricket, I'm assuming, right?
100% more, man. They're like the entire body
It's
is
like
just
meat.
a squishy mass. Thing. Let me see if I can get you one so you can see how big they are, man.
Yeah, please. Everybody make sure to like and subscribe and share this video and give Eddy a follow over on Father Blue on Instagram. Oh, that's like one of the cages for a tarantula, huh?
Yeah, but this is first. So these are feeder ones that I have right here. So these are like retired breeders that they're like they only breed for about 4 months, and then afterwards they're like kind of no good. And so these are the ones that I will feed off to my animals. But you can kind of see this is an adult
Oh,
female.
dude.
That's how big it is. You know, so
So
that's a
that would only
big.
be for would that be for a full grown or can Littlefoot eat that?
I would Littlefoot could definitely eat that, no problem. So
Dang.
it's a grasshopper that they'll go crazy over, you know, and so I feed these they fly around and everything like that. They're
No
probably
way.
one of the coolest feeders, and they look like they might be a little hard bugs, but they are squishier than ever, dude, and just packed full of nutrition. So and they breed and reproduce like crazy.
So
Let me see if I can
do
actually
you
get
do
one of these guys.
crickets?
I do not do crickets, man, because crickets smell.
Ugh, I know my wife was
Sorry.
like something smells, and I was like, it's probably the crickets.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly,
gonna hit you
exactly.
up for some. I'm gonna hit you up some grasshoppers if you'll ship them.
Yeah, we can see what's up. Let me see if I can get one of these dudes to get at the grasshopper real quick.
I'm sure they will. All right, live feeding action from Father Blue.
Hopefully, maybe we can get him to go.
Let's see. Put the camera over a little bit.
Oh,
Oh, because those grasshoppers are gonna get away from you, huh?
yeah, they jump like crazy, man. Let's see, I don't know. Maybe he might be interested or might not be. I don't want to get too close to him because he'll bite the hell out of me, honestly.
What that the monitor will?
Yeah, the monitor will bite the hell out of me.
Really?
Yeah, he's a big boy. He is probably my most aggressive male that I have.
Like
So
you're
I'm
not handling him, huh?
no, I never touched him, honestly, man.
Crazy.
Let's see.
He's camera shy.
Yeah, it looks like it, right?
He's like, bro,
Yeah, it looks like
don't mess with me right now, bro.
looks like he is camera shy.
You
Let's see
just
if I
leave
can
it
get
in there. No, you just see if you can take. You got a garbage disposal one. You got one that'll eat
yeah,
it for
I
sure.
got one that he'll probably get. He'll probably eat it. Yeah, this guy is a crazy one. Did you get that? Did you see
Done.
that one?
Yeah,
Yeah,
done.
he's gone. That's it. That's it. Yeah, that one right there. That's El Chapo. Man, he doesn't
El
play around.
Chapo.
El Chapo doesn't play around when it comes to
No.
that stuff.
So I've also noticed something about them, like how they rub when they're eating, they like rub their face on whatever is right there. You know what I mean? To help them.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
interesting. It's weird. Even like a little piece, they're like rubbing against.
Yeah, my girlfriend calls it like she's they're like little dogs. When they go, they're like they wag
Yeah.
the whole face and everything like that. And I think it's an instinct of like killing the prey animal they're eating and everything like that, you know?
Yeah.
So they
That
want to
makes
make sure
sense.
that it's completely dead before they ingest it so that it doesn't try to like lodge itself in their throats or something like that. That's
So
what I'm assuming.
the one behind you, what's his name?
That the big guy right here, that's a Bubba Blue right here. Yeah, Bubba Blue, I don't play with him. He's my biggest male. He'll let me touch him, but he's just a very
Have you been
mean
bit by
lizard.
him?
I have been bit by him. That's why I don't like touching him, dude.
Does it
I have,
suck?
yeah. He at one point he bit me in the middle finger. Just I was like trying to grab him, and he just wrapped around, pow, just launched on my finger, and whatever he did, it hurt. He damaged my finger so bad that my ring at the time couldn't come off. It like
Swell
just
up.
for months though. The healing process wouldn't allow it. Whatever happened to the finger, it healed in a way that the ring couldn't come off or anything like that. So
Crazy.
they're not. I'm not gonna say they're like the most cuddliest animal, but when you get
No.
an animal that doesn't want to be touched, they won't. They'll let you know that for
And
sure.
did you get him as a baby or no?
No, I got him.
So that's the other thing.
Probably a
People,
year-
you can tame them out if you've had them from a baby.
Right. When they're from a baby, you can tame them out, and you can work with them to like get them calm and stuff like that for the most part.
But he scarred
Like,
you for life, huh?
Yeah, I'm just afraid of that guy in particular. All my other lizards, I'm not afraid of. I'll grab them and I'll hold them and everything like that, and they'll be chill. But him in particular, I won't even try with him, dude. Honestly, if I ever need to grab him, I'm pulling like a Steve Irwin where I'm grabbing a shirt and I'm throwing it over his head
This guy.
and I'm blinding him, and then I can grab him. But I would never try to hold him, or
Crazy.
I'll like try to coax him out on my arm with some food, and then I'll move him. But then I got to do it fast because if he sees my arm, he's gonna bite it. Like that's just how he is. You know?
Yeah, I just
like,
got bit again. This tortoise, bro, is not playing right now. It's crazy. Well, let's see. So you have 8, and your hold on, let me see something real quick. My camera's being weird. There we go.
Sorry about that, man. I
No, no, you're
apologize for
good.
that.
You're good. So Reptizone, I noticed that you posted some stuff today. Super dope. So you do 3D printing,
3D printing and design, man. Yeah.
and do you have it with you?
Right. Yeah, I have a couple of my stuff with me today. Yeah,
Yeah, why
I
don't you show some of
have.
those off so people can know, like, kind of that stuff that's going to be available in the future, right?
It's available now, man. Ever since
Is
I
it like
posted it, since
small
I posted it
batch? Like
online, people have been
how
ordering
many
today.
is it small batch though, or how many are available?
Oh, it's whatever. They're custom ordered for these guys
Cool.
right here. For the new stuff, they're custom ordered. The other stuff is large batch, however you want, man. Like what I'm known for the most part, are my feeder holders, which I designed. You kind of saw them inside the cage and
Yeah,
everything
Tom
like that. But
Crutchfield
kind of,
had some.
what's I recommend that it's these guys right here. They're like a little simple fixture that I made. And the fixture, the cool thing about these is that you're able to place them anywhere inside the cage, and they hold the standard size deli cup. So you put a deli cup inside your cage, and that allows you, when I'm feeding crickets or grasshoppers, they can't jump out of here. And so I'm able to, like, put them in here and count how many I have, and my
And you know,
monitors will go in here and they'll eat from there, and I know that they're eating, and I know that they're getting nutrients and stuff like that. So
crazy.
this is what I'm known for. These things ship. I've sold these right now all over the U.S. I've sold them in 8 different countries: Japan, Germany, France,
And
Italy.
how much do those go for?
These are 15 a piece that I sell
Cool.
these
And
guys. They
that's what I was
come with
saying.
2 size
Tom
cups and everything.
Crutchfield, Tom Crutchfield had some.
Tom Crutchfield just ordered a second batch for me. He
Nice.
literally,
Yeah.
yeah,
Shout out to
yeah.
Tom Crutchfield. OG in the
Shout
game
out
for
to
sure,
Tom, dude.
man.
Yeah, yeah. So
OG.
yeah, his daughter Vanessa contacted me
Yep.
again. We're cool, and she was like, "Hey, I want more of these guys. Let's get them." So I'm actually shipping her out an order this week for those guys. I'm
Is it one
also known
size?
for.
Have you made? I mean, I guess it's one size because it only fits those deli cups. Have you thought about making them smaller for the 2 ounce, like the smaller deli
100%,
cup?
man. 100%. I actually have the deli cups over here right now for the smaller ones. I'll show you. Here goes the small deli cups right here.
Yeah,
So
cool.
yeah, that's definitely in the works and everything like that for those
Cool.
guys. Next, these are more like of a sterile kind of design. The new design of these guys that are about to be introduced to you guys is going to be they're more naturalistic looking. So they have like moss features, little
Mm.
grass features, little rock features. So you can order like a style that suits your cage if you have like
And it's like
a more of a.
it's like printed on there.
Right, exactly. It's designed into the
Dope.
whole thing and everything like that. So those are the new
Dope.
ones. What I was known for this stuff, I've been on a couple other podcasts for this idea, was designing an arboreal egg laying box, specifically for tree monitors, but for other animals as well. And this is like the small version of that thing. You can kind of see it's an entire egg
Dude.
with 3 entrances. And the big version obviously will be a big 24-inch version.
Yeah,
that you put in here.
that's not gonna fit a big tree monitor in there.
Oh hell no, dude, definitely not. But this is just kind of a model to show people what it was that I've been working on and stuff like that.
Damn.
So this is the original design for it that got me a lot of attention and stuff like that. And the new thing that I released today that you were talking about was this guy right here. And this is the new kind of like, it's a planter holder, it's a hide, and it's the bottom portion of the egg laying box.
How long does
So
that
this is
take to make, to print?
This prints about like 7 hours. I'm actually
7
printing another one right
hours?
now. Yeah, 7 hours.
For
And that's on
one?
slow setting just to make sure everything is good until it's all dialed in.
Damn.
And once it's dialed in, I could probably get this to print in like 5 hours.
And what are those going for? Have you
Right
decided
now,
yet?
$50 a piece for these, for the small ones. And
Crazy.
I got a commission today for a large version. That's going to be like 3 times the size for tree monitors. So we'll see how that one comes out, man. It's going to be super interesting. You know?
Dang. So people can get those now at Reptizone on the Etsy site?
Yeah, they can get on my Etsy. They can contact me directly off my Instagram or Facebook, and we can place orders out. You know, I'm shipping all the time. So
Cool. Those are dope, dude. I'm definitely gonna have to cop one of those for sure.
thanks.
Let's see. I'm trying to think if there's anything that we didn't really cover. Like I said, we'll probably do a part 2 because my brain doesn't work. I can't like always think of the next topic, but I'm trying to think if there's anything specific.
Yeah, I mean, I'll talk a little bit. I can ramble a little bit about like tree monitor keeping and some of the stuff you should
Yeah,
be
yeah.
like.
I mean, or just any
expecting.
advice for people that are, interested. We kind of talked about heating and what you feed them, but anything in general, I would love to hear about for myself.
Yeah, man.
Especially. I'll be
Of
selfish
course,
here.
of course, man. You know, kind of how you said earlier in the podcast. You know, a lot of people tend to, when they see an animal, they get very excited about keeping it without doing the proper research. And these animals in particular, man, are an animal that definitely you should, take your time to research, study, see what's going on with it, see the experiences of the other keepers. before you just dive headfirst into an animal like this, especially with the market being like it is. There's a lot of people selling like wild caught animals as captive board animals that aren't, that are full of parasites or sick,
Yep.
and vice versa, so that's something to watch out. Lots of scammers out there too, because of the tree monitors being such a like a high demand animal. Everybody and their grandma wants to sell one now, and kind of like cash in on that lucrative
Yeah.
side of this. So
We
you're
saw
getting a
some
lot of
fake websites.
yeah, bro.
I
There's a
thought
lot
they
of fake.
looked legit, like they had obviously hired someone to make this fake website, but there's no phone number. The email
Yeah,
gets sent back to you. And I was like, because I mean, I've had experience keeping many reptiles, and I know we kind of jumped into it, like you're saying, but I also have experience. So for me, it was like nothing I couldn't
right,
adjust to. But I
right.
remember I was like, oh, I bet I can get one for under a G. No, you're not getting a real, no,
Yeah,
you're not getting
yeah,
anything
yeah.
like that for under a G. So
Not no more, at least, man. Not
no.
no more. Back then, yeah, but not now.
I mean,
Especially
you think
not
that's
right now.
gonna be? Do you think it's gonna go back? You think it's gonna go back down, or do you think it's gonna get higher over the next few years?
Man, I don't know. To be
Yeah,
quite honest, I would see. I think it depends on how the market goes and how successful people are with these animals. Because it's funny, like I would say that the same people that have been breeding consistently for the past, like a couple years, are the only ones that are reproducing them. It's not like
yeah,
you can just pick up two monitors and have them together and they're breeding. Some
yeah.
people get lucky for sure, but a lot of people don't. And then there's the hard part of like incubating them, where these things take 150
Insane.
to 160 days to incubate, and that's a lot of time to mess up, bro. Like and then you
Yeah,
you you you
you could
waste the
have
entire time of it,
one power failure in your apart. That's it, done.
and you're done, dude. And that can ruin the entire project. So they're not very easy animals to deal with in the first place. When I got into them, I would say green trees. I was able to get green trees for like 600, 700 bucks. I was able to get blue trees for like 800 to 1,000.
What
I
are
was able to
blue
get
trees
black
going
for
for
like
now?
five
Just
hundred
so I
bucks.
so I can start saving.
Blue trees right now, see, it's crazy how
I can't.
fast
I don't
they
think I
are.
can even find one.
$4,000 is the starting price for a blue tree monitor. If you know someone, and like there's a couple like really cool guys out there that don't want to like kind of like destroy the market, and they're selling blue trees for like 22, $2,500,
Yeah,
right? And those are amazing guys. There's guys like High from Naked Dragon. There's who else is doing that? A couple like this is like one or two other dudes selling it like that. But everyone's on the bandwagon of like $4,000 for a lizard. Let's maximize the profit.
yeah. They know what
Unfortunately,
they know the demand. They know what they can get. So you can't. It is what it kind of is
right,
what it is. And I
right. So
remember a few years ago looking into the green trees, and I saw one like you said for $700, and then we just paid, or my wife just paid 22.
yeah, yeah,
It's
exactly,
it's
man.
it's for real.
I, I would say when I got lucky, and last year was a year that I really went down hard on my collection, and I added like 5 blue trees, and then I got rid of a couple of those in that time. But at the end of it, man, I was paying $2,500 for one blue tree, and I was coming from the year before paying like $1,000 for one. So the demand is skyrocketed, and then now a year later, the price is doubled. Like so it's crazy, like what
That's
people
you
are
know what
paying for.
there's a good thing to that though. It deters people.
Yeah, it
You know,
deters like the wrong people for getting them
yeah,
and
like, oh, I want one of
potentially
these. Oh,
killing them.
never mind, I don't.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
so yeah, I mean, that's what was kind of scary. Like once we got ours in, I wouldn't say it was an impulse buy because we keep reptiles. We have a reptile rescue, but when he showed up, I was like, I'm not fully ready. I'm building the enclosure. I'm building the enclosure while he's in his deli cup.
yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, like I would highly advise against that. Have an enclosure ready. Know what you're doing first, like we've said. And I have experience, so I was able to like dial things in within a few days, and he's thriving now. But dude, I was like, man, this thing was expensive, and
yeah,
I hate to think of it that way because it's not just an item, it's a living creature. But you're like, my wife just spent $2,200 on it. If it dies in 2 days,
yeah. I mean,
are we gonna try again? You know what I mean?
yeah, no, it'll deter you from that, man. But and it's not just that sort of thing, man. Like I have one blue tree in particular. She's my first ever tree monitor that I had. Her name's Houdini, and she was the female from the pair of the blue trees that I bought for my first ones. And till this day, I've had her for about 4 years, a little bit over 3 years, and she is my hardest animal to take care of. in the fact that she's never put on weight. She will barely eat anything. I can never see her drinking. She is the most flightiest animal in the world. It's so difficult to take care of this animal.
And you've had
And
her since a
that's just how
hatchling.
she is. That's just how she is, huh?
Have you had her since a hatchling, like
No,
a
no, I had
baby?
her. She was an adult when I got her. She was a full-grown adult, but
So you
wild
have you
caught
not
adult.
have you not raised any from a baby yet?
Other than Littlefoot, Littlefoot,
Yeah,
I bought her
Littlefoot.
at.
Yeah.
She was, I would say, she was like a very young juvenile. She was like very, very small, very small, and now she's almost an adult.
And
So
how's her temperament?
she's beautiful. She'll let me handle her and stuff like that. She's not like
Cool.
a walking up my arm like Reptiliadis or anything like that, but she's a really
Shout out to
she's
Reptiliatus too.
yeah. So, but she's a really cool monitor, really chill and everything like that for the most part. You know, I could probably grab her out right now and I can hang out with her. Her or my other one. I have a female in here, Stacy. She's pretty chill as well. You know, for the most part, they're tongue feedable. They're very kind of chill. They're not gonna bite me or anything like that for the most part. You know,
They
now
will
I got
teach you a lot of patience.
hell yes,
Dude,
that's
because
for
I
sure.
mean, like ours is separate. Ours is not in here. Ours is in our bedroom. It's the only enclosure because it's like we don't hang out in the bedroom. You know, like
Right,
we sleep in there, and that's pretty much it. You know what I mean? It's like there's a purpose for that room, and that's it. We're not going in there. So like I'll peek in there and I'll see him or her, or I don't know, whatever, non-binary, gender fluid lizard. But I'll see it in there, and I'm like, man, I want to grab you, but I'm gonna just creep through the door and look. You know what I mean? It's tempting, dude. And it teaches me patience because every other animal I have here I could go grab right now.
right,
And this one's
right,
like you have to let it come to you. It's not like if you're getting a monitor for you, it's about the animal. It's kind of like a whatever's best for the animal. And it's hard.
right.
It's hard as a reptile owner because what you get these animals so you can handle them, but with the monitors, it's like a
Yeah,
little bit of both.
yeah. You can't. You can sometimes play around with them. You can't. I tend to, because they're such a like a fragile species, a very like temperamental and everything like that. I tend to just like leave them alone. I don't.
Do you
I'm
know
not
how
one of the
many
guys.
are in the wild blues?
No, I have no idea. There's never been. See, this is the beautiful part about these animals and why I've like dedicated my time to them. They are the most, from my understanding, the blacks might be out there, but the blues are probably one of the most like kind of endangered of the boat of the bunch because they come from the smallest island and the smallest
Well, New Guinea,
distribution.
right?
Yeah, in Papua New Guinea, but they come off of this one little island called Batanta. That's right on the outskirts of the Indonesian islands, and they're only found on this tiny island. It's the smallest island out of the whole archipelago of Papua New Guinea, and so they're the hardest to kind of like research. There's never been one like active like kind of recording, photograph, anything like that of it. There's no surveys done of the blue tree monitors. None of that, man. We've only discovered the blue tree monitors scientifically where they
Like
recognize
2000, like late
in like
2000s.
2010, something like that. 2010 was when they were like, you know, scientifically kind of like discovered, you know. So they're a fairly new species to the hobby, and immediately they're already in this like endangered list. You know, their island is so small that all it takes is like one giant, you know, one small natural disaster, a
Yeah.
giant hurricane, an eruption of a volcano, a tsunami, and they're gone from the island. They'll be destroyed. They'll be decimated. So I work with these guys in particular because my goal with this entire project is to hopefully help them establish, hopefully breed them here. And then what I want to do with my babies is I want to distribute them to various zoological institutes so that they can start their own breeding
Start a
projects with the
repopulation of them.
exactly of the tree monitors. And I just want to have my animals in these places, and I want to help them, guide them, help them out with whatever type of information they need. Like just like anybody who asks me how to keep tree monitor, I do the same thing. But I want to do that with my hopefully the
Yeah.
animals that I help produce for them, you know, and whether that can like kind of change, the future in terms of like reintroducing them to wild or preserving their genetics or whatever it is that them as a species in captivity. That's my goal with
Yeah.
this entire project.
Okay.
I don't do this to make money. I don't care about making money from reptiles. I don't sell my reptiles.
You've spent all your money on them.
Exactly. I don't. Yeah. Just I want to keep them and then hopefully help them stay here with us, man, and we don't lose them. To be quite
Do,
honest, that's
do you
all I
know
really want to do.
do you know Dave Kaufman? I'm sure you've
I do
seen
know
this.
David Kaufman. Yeah,
So he just released that documentary Ball Pythons in the Wild. Did you watch that
yeah,
yet?
yeah. I watched a couple of it. Yeah,
Yeah,
a
he
little bit.
talked about how basically people that are keeping ball pythons are keeping an invisible ark, like Noah's Ark. Like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you keeping certain reptiles is the reason why they will be around, because in the wild they won't be eventually. So it's like
Right,
it's
man.
up to us as keepers and breeders. And that's the other thing with all that going on with US Arc and FWC, them trying to ban certain animals. They don't realize that banning things doesn't do anything good. It's
No,
okay. It's okay to have regulations. I'm sure you wouldn't mind if eventually, if you had to have a permit to keep them, you'd
I
probably,
wouldn't care. I'll be
yeah,
the first in line to do it so that I can have
exactly.
it. If that means that they're like that my animals are recorded and documented, knowing
Yeah,
that they're taken care of and safe. Like 100%.
yeah,
That would not deter me. I would not if they tell me I gotta get rid of them. We're gonna have some problems there. But
yeah.
but if you tell me I need a permit, no problem.
That's when you
Fine.
release what's his name in the background?
Yeah, yeah, no El Chapo or Big Papa Blue,
El
right?
Chapo don't play, bro. You saw what he did to that grasshopper.
Yeah.
You don't play. But yeah, it's a project, man, and I commend you for doing what you do and the patience you have, and being supportive to the people in the community that are. I mean, I saw something funny. I think it might have been in the group that you're an admin on, but someone was like, "Where can I?" It's like what I was thinking. Where can I get a Blue Tree monitor for under $1,000? Someone said you can print it out and put it on your wall. And like it killed me. I
That
was like,
dude.
yeah, if
That's
you want
me,
a Blue
dude.
Tree
But
monitor for $700, you can get a
yeah,
printer, print a picture out. There you go.
yeah.
That's it. It's not a game. So yeah, man. Do you think you have anything else on your mind?
You know, I would
Feel
just say,
feel
man,
free. Rant. Do your thing.
yeah, man. If you guys are interested in this sort of these animals and things like that, feel free to contact me, man, at any time, or join the Facebook groups online, man. That's been like a wealth of research of knowledge for me, man, and also research behind it. There's so many great articles, so many great publications that people have posted up and kind of like shared with people about like studies that they found of like green tree monitors in the wild and things like that. Like you can learn a lot about this stuff, man. I've gone down like crazy rabbit hole since keeping these animals. They're trying to learn every type of like little bit of information. There's a bunch of resources. So if you want to get into these or at least learn about getting into them, I would suggest going into the tree monitor groups on Facebook. And the biggest ones are the tree monitor group that's run by Matthew Cosman of Reptile Revolt. There's the tree monitor community. That's the one that I'm one of the admins on, and it's run by I think her name's Tatiana, I believe. It's the lady who started that one up. There's the tree monitor husbandry and care.
That's
That's
Vanessa
like
Crutchfield, right?
that's no, that's not Crutchfield. This is a gentleman. I think his name is Lawrence who started that up.
Okay.
He's somewhere in the
I've
U.S.
seen Vanessa Crutchfield in there, I believe, though.
Yeah, 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 exactly. So those are the three different pages, but so much knowledge and kind of like experiences shared there. Everything from like how people are incubating eggs, how they're keeping their cages, to temperature zones that they're keeping, to lighting that they're using, to animals they're feeding, to neurological behaviors they experience when their animals get sick. Like all this wealth of knowledge that you can learn from these people, and ask a bunch of questions, or you can hit me up on the Instagram or on Facebook as well. I'm there as Father Blue, obviously, and I'm sure you'll post up here. But I'm
For sure.
always available and willing to help out people with any questions they have. And yeah, man, I hope to see this community grow strong, dude. To
Same.
be quite honest, I
I'm kind
really
of
can't wait.
I've been keeping reptiles for 20 years on and off, but I've always loved the big lizards, the big snakes, and I think this is the start of something big. And I have a feeling that we'll be working together in the future on some future things, and helping this community grow. And like I said, the channel's new, but I have a lot of experience in marketing and online presence. So I'm hoping that um, you know, I hope this podcast blows up and it gives people a chance to learn more. That's kind of the whole goal: is conservation, education, rehabilitation. Of course, we do some breeding, but that's kind of part of it. And that's what people are
Yeah,
like, oh, you breed animals. It's like we're not puppy mills. You know what I mean? There's a goal, like you were saying, behind the breeding of these animals. They're not highly populated. So it's there's a reason behind all this. But yeah, Eddie, thanks, man.
of
I
course, dude.
really, really,
Anytime.
really appreciate you. All your help, man. It's been. I'm forever grateful. So I really appreciate it. And Father.blue on Instagram, Reptizone, which there's some changes coming, so I'm sure you'll announce that. But if anybody wants to get any of your products, Reptizone, it's you can go to Reptizone on Instagram, Father Blue on Instagram. I know you have a YouTube too. I'll drop the link in there. I know you. I'm not sure if you've been doing anything on there recently.
No, but I'm gonna be revamping
Cool.
that for sure. Like you
And
said, YouTube's hard, dude. That's the only
mhm.
thing, you know. So
If
I'm
you're not
trying as
making
well.
videos about like Minecraft or you know what I mean, like
Yeah.
smashing things with cars, it's But I'll send you this as well. I sent it to Dave Palumbo. Feel free to put it on your site, and we'll keep this ball rolling. So yeah, Eddie, I appreciate you, man. And we'll talk soon. Shout out to you for everything you do for the community. It's a blessing. So thank you, man.
Dude, thank you, man. I can't thank you. I can't say thank you enough, bro, for giving me this opportunity to talk. You
For sure,
know.
brother. All right, man. Appreciate you.
All right, dude. Peace.